going to look at compound probability today. Compound probability is when you have two simple events that are happening at the same time. We're going to look at just independent events, but just so you know, down the road next year in 8th grade, you will also be dealing with dependent events, and we'll look at that later. I just want you to know up front that there's two kinds of compound probability. We only work on independent right now. So independent probability is when you have two separate events, and the way you can find the probability is by using this formula down here. You find the probability of the first event, you find the probability of the second event, and you multiply them together. So we're going to basically get a fraction of our first event, a fraction of our second event, and multiply them together. So take a look at this example. We have a coin that is tossed and a spinner that is being spun, and we are to find the probability of these two events. I want you to notice that these two events have no effect on each other. If you toss a coin and land on a head, it will not have any effect on spinning the spinner. So here's our two probabilities. Here's our first and here's our second. The probability of flipping a coin and landing on heads is 1 out of 2 because there's one head out of two sides on that coin. The probability of spinning this spinner to the right and landing on a number less than 4 would be 3 out of 4 because there are 3 numbers less than 4 and 4 numbers altogether. So we found our probability of our first event, we found our probability of our second event, now it is time to multiply. So right here we're going to multiply 1/2 times 3/4. Remember to multiply, you just go straight across. 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 4 is 8, and then you always look to see if you can simplify, which in this case you can't. So the probability of tossing heads and spinning less than 4 is 3/8. Great, let's try some examples of our own. A card is chosen and a number cube is rolled. Find the probability of each event. Find the probability of picking a triangle and landing on a 5. So looking at the cards, I see that I have 2 triangles out of 4 cards. So 2 out of 4, or I'm going to go ahead and straight off the bat simplify that to 1/2. The probability of landing on a 5 on that dice would be 1 out of 5. And now we multiply, so I end up with 1/10. All right. I'm going to go ahead and skip every other one just for the purpose of room. Landing, or number 8, picking a card that is not a rectangle and landing on a number less than 3. So not a rectangle, that would be 3 out of the 4 cards, and landing on a number less than 3. So think about a dice. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have 6 numbers, and out of those 6, how many are less than 3? That's right, only these 2. So 2 out of 6, or 1/3. I see that I can cross reduce, making that a 1 and a 1, multiply across, and I end up with 1/4. All right. One color tile is chosen from the bag without looking, then it is replaced with another with the color. What is the probability of finding each of the following here? So we're going to go ahead and look over at the bag, and we're trying to find the probability. I'm going to go ahead and do all the odds on this one. We're going to find the probability of picking a green and then a blue. So let's look here. We've got 1, 2, 3 greens out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 tiles altogether. So 3/10. And now we want to find the probability of pulling a blue. Well, there's 1 out of the 10 that is blue. Multiply across, and we end up with 3/20. And this last one, red and then red again. So there's 2 out of 10 that are red, and there's still 2 out of 10 that are red for the second event. I'm going to go ahead and cross reduce, make that a 1 and a 5, make that a 1 and a 5, and then multiply across, so I end up with 1/25. So guys, that is compound probability. Find the probability of the first event, probability of the second event, and multiply.